morning. Mr. Dan, it's a special day for you. Will you begin us with prayer?
Yes. Our most gracious and mighty Heavenly Father, we thank you that we are able to gather here this morning to worship you. The tribulation upon the sinner, for everyone here, I will do to stay home. Bless them also. Bless John and his family and his walls, we pray. Right now, in everyone's life, we pray this morning. Open our hearts to the word you have us to hear and to take in, Lord, we pray. God bless this day, we pray now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, as far as birthdays and anniversaries for this week, we had Miss Donna Lott. I don't know if she's here.
No, she'll be late for her own funeral.
I'm sure you all celebrated though this week.
Don't worry, she ain't here yet.
Okay, well, it's her birthday this past week. Trip Sykes and Jerry Haynes. I don't think anybody's here to be sung to. And then we have an anniversary today. Mr. and Mrs. Danny Oliver, if the calendar is correct. So congratulations.
Cheers. You better take her out somewhere nice, please.
Congratulations. That's a big deal. So,
39 on you.
39
Take her out there, no.
Oh, we're going to better, man.
Well, good. That's a long time. Hopefully many more. As far as our devotional bit this morning, like I typically do, is I usually give you all a little bit of piece of what the youth and I are going through and what we're doing. So in Sunday school, we've been spending probably too long for their taste going over David and his rise to kingship and what went on with he and Saul and what went on with all that stuff way back in the day. So we've been going over that, but we've reached a bit of a respite for David today in 2 Samuel chapter 7, where, of course, most of you, I think, know what all David went through, or at least a piece of it. You know, Saul was king, didn't work out the way Israel had really wanted, so God planned to have him anointed him, and of course, Saul was not pleased by that a lot of times. They had a lot of conflict. There was a couple of chases in the desert, a couple of missed murders and attempted murders on David's life. But throughout that, David stayed obedient when he had to live in the wilderness, where he had to live away from home, where he had to live with the Philistines. And eventually, Saul dies. David finally does become king. And here in 2 Samuel chapter 7, David gets some rest for his enemies. And so the first thing David decides to do whenever he gets some rest for his enemies, and he's no longer in open conflict, he says, you know what, I got some free time. I'm going to build God a house. He's been living in the tabernacle. We've had the ark in the tabernacle for so long. We need to have an actual home for the Lord. And so I'm going to build that. But Nathan comes and stops him short and says, hold up, I've got a vision from God for you, and this is what it is. And God says, don't worry. You're going to have an offspring that will build me a physical house. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you a name. I'm going to make you a great name among the nations. I'm going to give you a house. I'm going to establish your kingdom forever and your offspring. And he makes all these grand promises to David. And the point I want to stick on for us this morning is whenever David hears that prophecy and he hears all that stuff that God is going to do for him, all those promises, it says here in 2 Samuel chapter 7, starting in verse 18, just verse 18, I guess. It says, Then King David went in and sat before the Lord and said, Who am I, O Lord God, and what is my house that you have brought me thus far? And the rest of that is David's prayer of gratitude. And so I think it's good for us here in November as we approach Thanksgiving and as we approach this time where we're all supposed to think about the things that we're thankful for, to remember this, to remember that one of the, at least in the first half of his life, one of the most obedient kings that we have to look at in Israel, and one of the godliest men that we get to look at in the scriptures. He took time to be grateful for the promises that were made to him. First of all, it's important that he was thankful. But the second and possibly more important thing is his posture for his gratitude. He didn't say, I'm a pretty good guy, and so I'm thankful for all these things that God is finally doing right by me on. He said, who am I? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve these good things that have happened to me. for us on the cross, to justify us, to make us right before Him so that we can live with Him forever in heaven. That's the chief thing we have to be grateful for. That's the promise He made to us. And so we also should take some time to go alone into our room and say, who am I, O God, that you've given me these things? I'm grateful to you for those, and I will live with that posture until you take me home. So, Thanksgiving is coming. Remain thankful. Maintain that posture. Head down in prayer and in gratitude to God rather than with our chest puffed out thinking that we've earned anything that we have. So, with that,
I need to make an announcement.
please do. I'm finished.
Does anybody know if we practiced a special for this morning required? I don't remember.
Friday night, you know.
We are going to have a choir this morning, so I want everybody to assemble downstairs. If Judy gets here in time, yes, we're going to do that. I've already talked to Kayla.
When are you gonna do it? At the beginning?
We're going to do it at the top of the hour with the children.
First
Okay?
thing?
Just be careful.
Come in this back door and walk through and we're
All right, we'll
done.
talk. We'll talk.
Good job.
You didn't want to say that you didn't tell us we wouldn't be.
I couldn't remember whether we actually practiced a song this morning.
No, we did not.
We're starting a choir this morning. I don't know what we're going to do. We don't have a special, we'll sing a song, but we're going to practice. We'll see you downstairs as soon as the first floor. Been so long, I don't even remember. But anyway, choir meet downstairs after Sunday school, okay? Not a bit like that, but we got that. Thank y'all.
Yep, you're dismissed.